Good evening. It's full time here at the CFA in our game against Blackpool, and what a result, and with a beautiful evening to match. It was picture perfect, really. 4-1 was the final score, and here to get into that is Mr. Paul Dickov and Shaun Gota. We're going to take you through all the goals and look at some key moments. But Shaun, it was a very, very impressive showing, wasn't it, over the 90 minutes?
Yes, it was. The boys done exceptionally well. It's certainly second half, they just really controlled the ball, moved it. I like the ball shifting when seeing those diagonals go to Mahrez. Mahrez's form throughout pre-season has been really good, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him in the Community Shield. But again, Fernandinho in the centre there. Again, the tempo and quality, it's beautiful to watch.
We were kind of waxing lyrical about our young players, but also, of course, our first-team players, and it doesn't seem to matter kind of what age. They all know the City way, and they all know how to execute it to near enough perfection, don't they, Paul?
Yeah, they do. I mean, the younger ones are brought through from, the ages of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and how Pep wants to play. But I thought it was really refreshing to see the young players. They all done excellent today. Cole Palmer, we spoke about him at half-time. It's just lovely to watch, very easy on the eye. McAtee comes on and has a great little cameo.
Yeah.
Shows what a good player he is. But then within that, you've got the experienced players there. Ruben Diaz, Nathan Ake at the back. Shaun's mentioned Fernandinho, but Ilkay Gundogan, especially Riyad Mahrez, have outstanding second half. I know it's easy to say that when they've got the goals, but they lead by example.
They really, really do. Well, let's take a look at those goals, and now we're going to begin, of course, with the ones from the first half. If you did miss those, let's take a look at this. Shaun, we were here. It was a man we've always spoke about, Edozie, arriving at the right place, right time.
Yes, again, he's, Gundogan's done his spin, had the shot, it's been deflected. He's pounced on it, as you would expect a wide players to be in their position. Paul mentioned it earlier in the first half, saying wide players being able to make sure they're in and around, making it narrow, so that balls can, when they fall loose like that, they're able to get on the end of it. So I'm impressed with him, because he's trying to leave a mark on Pep and say, hey, I'm quality, and I want you to be considering me. And what's that, 3 games now? He scored goals.
Yeah.
His confidence is high, and this is what you want when you talk about going to Community Shield. If Pep calls upon him, I think he is confident.
Would you start him in the Community Shield?
I don't think, why not? Again, I think they're looking at all these senior players coming back and making sure that they get up to scratch in terms of their fitness. The lad shown in the 3 games that he's happy to be around the first team. He's capable of doing a job. Pep's got him here because he's good enough. So I wouldn't have thought, why not?
Now, something that haven't happened to us so far this pre-season was then someone scoring against us and was kind of arriving at a 1-1 draw. But that's what happened. It was a penalty from Ruben Diaz challenge, and he was just a little bit unfortunate, wasn't he, Paul? But it was a penalty, I think.
Yeah, just a little bit rusty and a little bit clumsy more than anything else. And I'm pretty sure if that's in a couple of weeks' time he doesn't make that tackle, you can see Cancelo's covering as well, so he maybe doesn't need to, but you've got to give the centre forward the credit there. He's positive and drove into the box, and then look, Garbutt comes up, he's got a great left foot. I know him from when he was a youngster at Everton, was very highly thought of, and it's a great finish.
I mean, I think if there's a few videos there that could be shown to some of the City players, I think, just to put the ball in the back of a net for a penalty. But they are harder, aren't they, than I think what we'd think when we're watching them from the stands or at home, Shaun, penalties?
Yes, they certainly are. I mean, again, because we're a City player, the expectation is that, 100, we get a penalty, we have to put it away. Penalties aren't that easy. They aren't that simple. And hence why I probably was always sort of 5th or 6th choice when it came to penalties.
I was just going to say that, but you took the words out of my mouth. Who wants a penalty? And Shaun used to go like that and start walking away.
That would be me as well, Shaun, to be honest. Spellmans don't take penalties. So it was 1-1 at half time, and then all the goals came flooding in the second half. And I don't know about you, Paul, but it just felt like they found another gear. And as you mentioned him there, but Gundogan really kind of came into his own. I think we can take a look at this. This is the Mahrez goal before Gundogan, but this, indicative of kind of Mahrez's pre-season, as you said, Shaun. It's been phenomenal.
It isn't, but he's mixed it up. Maybe a couple of seasons ago when the ball does come to him here, he takes a touch. You would have possibly seen him check inside there, and always want to come back in his left foot. But he's shown he's got the confidence to do it. We all know how. Look, for me, he's got one of the best touches in world football when the ball comes to him on the diagonals, and then the confidence in the strike with his weaker foot, if you can say that. It's just a fantastic finish. Touch there, gets it. What a finish that is in the far corner.
Beautiful.
And you were saying at the diagonal balls, but I mean, if you look, Fernandinho, it was the 1-2 with Gundogan, and he was playing them balls all game, wasn't he? Out to the right, to the left, in behind.
Yes, and it all starts from because Mendy was actually tucked in a little bit. Fernandinho receives that ball a little slightly higher, and that's what triggers it. And that's what I was saying about first half. They was trying to get that pattern and that rhythm. And once it breaks that line, all of a sudden it all opens. And we saw there, once the diagonal was hit, it was something like 5 against 4 in City's advantage, and they took advantage.
Spending a moment on Riyad Mahrez, I mean, given this pre-season, as you say, pre-season is pre-season, but carrying on, I guess, with the tenacity that we've seen here and the drive and the pushing forward, this could maybe be shaping up to probably be Mahrez's best season yet in a City shirt.
Yeah, look, he was fantastic last season. I think he slightly got overlooked a little bit, and rightly so, all the stuff that was surrounding Ruben Diaz, Kevin De Bruyne. I thought Riyad was right up there in the performances, especially towards the second half of the season. And pre-season, it looks as if he's got the bit between his teeth. He really wants to show Pep that come the Community Shield at the weekend, then come the start of the season against Tottenham, that he wants to be in that team. And
then he was involved in the next goal as well. Very quick thinking from him. I mean, Paul, you can talk us through this, but this had me off my feet.
No, it's fantastic. But I guarantee you they would have spoke about that.
Really,
as players. If you've got somebody who's that good in set pieces, you used to go over and say, look, if you just have a little look up, you get that eye contact and they do it. That's not just something that's off the cuff. They would have spoke about that. Maybe not practice it in training, but the little chats that they'll have in the changing room before a game, get it down, get a bit of eye contact and go. And the run from Ilkay and the finish is great, but the delivery is just as good.
Well, I said earlier that Gundogan will probably sneak in, and he's just got this perfect timing of knowing when defenses switch off to run in between centre-backs and full-backs. And there he knows Mahrez's quality. We saw at least 8 to 10 balls going from Mahrez, and the players are making those runs. And they're making those runs because they know his quality. He puts the ball in, it almost could hit you and go in. That's how good his quality across is.
And we've seen it last season. When you're not playing with an out-and-out centre-forward, you need your midfielders to be the third man running and getting in beyond. Because the centre-halves are comfortable because they can see the false number 9 there, they can see where the wingers are. You get somebody running behind, they don't want to see that, and that happened time and time again last season. And we've seen it again there, and we'll see it again the next goal.
Yes, we will. Well, let's take a look at that right now, Paul, because again, he just seems to have mastered this late run, doesn't he? And again, I mean, who does it start with there? Fernandinho with the ball out wide, Shaun.
Yes.
And Riyad Mahrez. Now we can see Gundogan just creeping in, can't we, there?
Yeah, and he'll look, and right now they're sort of squeezing up, and there you go. He makes that run in between the fullback and the centre back, and he makes this run look so easy. But the timing of it, he's just so cool when he makes his run as well. If they finish,
and it's the players surrounding him as well. Watch Cole Palmer's on here as well. Cole Palmer takes both centre halves out of the game here. As soon as the ball goes back, Riyad's got it here. And as soon as it goes back to Cancelo here, I don't know if you're going to see it, Cole Palmer runs across, takes them away, and that allows Gundogan to get in between the space between the full-back and the other centre-half.
Probably might even get a little better look at it here, but I guess again, and that's that selfless running that we did talk about at half-time,
and
wasn't it?
And it's the running in behind to take defenders away from you.
Yeah.
And it's great touch and can finish as well.
Beautiful, isn't
I got to mention Cancelo's left foot cross.
Hey,
I mean,
come on.
Is he right-footed or left-footed? I mean, I know he's both, but really, whatever foot he puts it on, this is just perfect.
It is just magnificent. And actually, that seems to be something that has been quite a common theme in all the games, actually, though, is that kind of looping ball with the curve to the back stick. It's more kind of impossible to defend against if it is perfect, which it seems to be every time.
It's a nightmare for defenders because they're running back to their goal. Sometimes if it's an out-swinging cross, although they're running back, they can still come onto and clear it. But when it's coming in with the quality that it's coming in and as an in-swinger and you're running back to your goal, it's so difficult to defend. And even if Ilkay there or whoever it is making the run doesn't get it, there's a chance the defender's going to put it into his own net. And we keep saying it's no coincidence. That's something that would have been worked on time and time again.
Time and time again, indeed. Right, now it didn't end up in a goal, but I mean, this quite possibly could have been goal of the season before the season's even began. I mean, Shaun, if this had come off, I mean, I would have been speechless. It was phenomenal, wasn't it, from Riyad Mahrez we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
It's the 1-2 with McAtee there.
He puts his hand up here. I mean, when it gets pulled back, I mean, he is perfect connection. I mean, the defender, he's done what he's supposed to do, get something on it somehow. He doesn't know much about it, but he really connects with this. And, Mahrez's form in pre-season has been absolutely brilliant. And I would imagine he'll be involved in the quality things that happen for us in the Community Shield because what I've seen of him in the pre-season games, he's been on really brilliant form.
Yeah. I think little shout out to James McAtee there as well. He's came in the pitch, winning comfortably, but he's came on and he's wanted to make an impression and make a stamp in the game. Great little 1-2. And it wasn't a hopeful ball, and he's looked up, he's seen where Riyad is and hit the perfect ball in, and if the block doesn't happen, that's it in the back of the net.
Let's have a look then to Saturday now. I mean, I think that's 10 goals, isn't it, in 3 pre-season games, and we've only conceded that one. We've had a fantastic showing from our youth. We've had, our first team players that have been back, really kind of starting to find their form now. What do you think will be being said now between now and Saturday? Do they just keep going the way they're going, or is there a slight, do you up the gear a little bit now, kind of heading to Saturday?
I think next couple of days, but once it gets to Friday, they'll definitely be up in it, because they'll be, as I said, they're treating it as a proper cup final. And you don't want to go down to Wembley and lose. So by the time Saturday, 5:30 on Saturday comes, they'll be up for it, and their fitness levels, the minutes they've got in their legs today, the ones that are coming back, the training that'll get leading up to it, it'll be a fantastic occasion. Because I've said that they want to win every single game and every single trophy that's available.
And you kind of have the question, I guess, the dilemma, Shaun. We've seen Bernardo came on quickly there. We've sat down here actually, and it was nice to see Rodri, Laporte, and Torres all coming back.
Yes.
There's a bit of you going, you just throw them straight in, but I guess actually you have to take into account they've probably not had these minutes, so it might be a mix of the older players and the younger players possibly on Saturday. Yeah,
I would imagine that. I would probably imagine, one or two of the young ones starting, and then perhaps in the second half seeing Bernardo Silva and the likes of one or two of them coming on, for 30, 35 minutes into the second half to really up the standard and levels. But again, the young players have been impressive. Palmer's been impressive. Edozie been impressive. And I think Pep would have seen and been able to look and say, well, can I trust him? And I think they've shown well enough that they can go in and handle that.
Yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me if a few of them get more minutes under their belt, even the ones that aren't even back yet, the ones that are sitting in front of us, because I know we're saying that they've not really trained, they've not really played yet. That's going to be the case again, granted the first game of the season.
True.
And and the game before, the first Premier League game of the season, as a player, as a manager, you want to have minutes under your belt. And City and their medical team, the sports science team, they're so far ahead of everybody else. Even though we've had Rodri, Ferran Torres and Laporte sitting in front of us, I guarantee you that they've had programmes that will be doing, all the data will be getting sent back. It'll be all for them to be tailored to go into the first games of the season, even the likes of Raheem Sterling, English lads, John Stones, Phil Foden, Kyle Walker.
Yeah.
So honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if we've seen some of their names getting the pitch at some time on Saturday.
Be nice, wouldn't it? Well, Saturday, we're going to be with you every step of the way. It's a 5:15 kickoff, so we'll be here at 4:15. And of course, that will be against Leicester in the Community Shield. Now, one man who has the headache is Mr. Pep Guardiola, so thankfully we don't have to make those decisions. This man does, and he's talking to us right now at full time.
For it and their fitness levels, the minutes they've got in their legs today, the ones that are coming back, the training.
So we don't have time. Sometimes we think, what is the reason why?
We had a Pep Guardiola interview with the Paul Dickov voice, which I quite enjoyed. Didn't even see. We'll bring you back in just a second. As we do kind of say,
even I couldn't understand myself there. Never mind anybody else.
That is absolutely genius. There was a couple of plays, Romeo Lavia. We have got it back. Oh, we're going to save my little kind of me singing about Romeo Lavia because it was so great to see him. But here now is Pep Guardiola with his own voice, not Paul Dickov's.
Right, so Pep, another win, a great performance again. How are you feeling after that one?
Well, against a good side, they did very well in many things, especially in the build-up. That we had to do good things to regain the ball as quick as possible. And so one more day, no injuries, and one more game, and still, of course, we need time. Players come back, we need time and space to do it.
Blackpool really gave us a test in that game, and some of the senior players, how do you feel they adapted back into the swing of things quickly?
No, I'm very pleased for young players, for the more experienced players, what they have done. So it's honestly no complaint. We saw many good things, and the other ones is just question of time to get what we want.
And we got early goals in both halves. That must be really pleasing as well to see us going from the front.
But you never know before the game when we are going to score goals, and in the beginning or late. Important is to create the chances, but it was so demanding for us. Blackpool, I was really impressed because they have a young side and they have a quality. They lost 2 or 3 balls in the build-up in the first minutes, but they continue to do it. The keepers, they have the vision, and they did really well.
And Sam Edozie's scored 3 goals in 3 games in pre-season. Him and the other young players, how delighted must you be with how they've stepped up?
Like all of them. So as a young talent, having a special quality. Of course, a guy who gets to the box with the intention to score a goal. This is, of course, so important for the wingers. And he's an incredible young player, good pace, and be patient with him. Have minutes. They play good, and this is important.
And just finally, how do you assess pre-season as a whole? I know there's still a lot of time, but are you pleased with what you've seen?
Well, now it's a completely different world for all the managers. So we don't have time. Sometimes we think, what is the reason why the manager we are here in the pre-season? Because we had 3 players. After a few days we have 5. The senior ones, and after 3-4 more days we have 3 more or 4 more. Sometimes one of them they have to be isolated because they fly with a plane with 150 people. When one of them tested positive, they have to stay 8 days isolated, and after 1 week later another one. So we just to adapt. Like it was before, you have 3, 4 or 5 weeks to prepare the concepts. Today it's impossible. So now it's okay. Try to, the weeks go on, and thanks to the games and the weeks get the condition, because we don't have time. We cannot speak the idea when we want to play, because we have just in 1 month, in 2-3 weeks we will start to be all together. So it's a little bit strange, but we have to adapt. It's what it is.
Brilliant. Thanks for your time.
Okay, thank you.
It's Pep Guardiola there speaking at full time of our 4-1 win against Blackpool, 3rd pre-season game, final one before the Community Shield against Leicester on Saturday. And we kind of touched upon it there. Obviously, great to kind of have a few weeks of pre-season, better than no weeks, which we had last season. But I guess it's not to be underestimated. It's still been very difficult for Pep and his staff and the players, because it's not a full pre-season and he's still not got a full squad.
Look, ideally, in any normal sort of season, apart from this one and last pre-season, they would have been away for 2 to 3 weeks working on things together, either over in America or in Asia, spending 24/7, working on things, new signings coming in, getting to know each other. So it's been a difficult one for them, and especially obviously with the Euros, Copa America, players coming back in dribs and drabs, some players not even back yet. But, as I said before, they'll be so well prepared. They'll be more prepared than any other club because of the work that goes on behind the scenes. Yeah.
And Shaun, we were just kind of chatting about it there as well. I mean, they're as ready as they'll ever be, as you say, Paul. Are they ready for the Premier League season starting?
Yeah, I believe they are. I think the other thing that we wouldn't have thought about today is, again, this being, one of the last preseason games, the work they would have done. They'd have probably done a good hour session this morning as well. And I think they'll probably taper down in terms of rest, recovery, and now looking for the Community Shield. So, again, I think these guys are ready, how they control the ball. I saw there was times when we saw the tempo just go up a level. We were talking and saying they've made the game into a runders in the middle of the park, and it was like 5, 6, 7 passes, and all of a sudden we broke the lines, and it was all quick pace. I think the boys are ready.
And you can talk about running and being fit. You get the main part of your fitness by keeping the ball and by playing football. That's why it's changed over the years. And back in the day, the first 2 weeks, you never used to see a ball. You just used to run till you were sick. People start laughing at that now. Now the first day of pre-season, the balls come out because they know that's where you get the main part of your fitness from, because that's what you do in games.
Yeah. Gents, thank you so much. Before we go then, let's take a look at our mystery blue. Now, we've had a whole host of guesses sending in. We're not going to reveal it yet. Now, we were struggling here. Who was it that you were thinking, Paul? What was the name that came to your head? Okay.
Sorry, I thought Gareth Barry straight away, but
that's what I thought. I said
not
Gareth
too sure
Barry.
now.
Well, what we'll do is we've had guesses coming in from you guys at home, right? So I'm going to give you the guesses, and there is one correct answer in there. Can you work out who it is? Okay. So some of the guesses are Andy Hinchcliffe, Carlos Tevez, John Stones, Jesus Navas, or we also had lots of people saying Gareth Barry, but we know it's not Gareth. Who are we thinking?
John Stones.
Paul's saying John Stones. So are you saying? Shaun?
Navas.
You're going to go Navas?
Yeah.
I thought Navas. I did think Navas
so you're
as well.
telling me I'm wrong?
It's John Stones. Well played, Paul. There we go. I thought it was Navas. I was adamant it was Navas.
He's got someone in his ear telling him, innit?
That was Daryl, the producer, told me it was somebody that doesn't score goals very much. So there you go.
It all comes out. There it is.
So
if I had a camera now, because he loves panning it around, doesn't he? Anyway, gents, there we
So
are.
next time John Stone sees you, you're in trouble, mate.
It's been an absolute pleasure. A massive thank you to you guys for watching. As always, Shaun and Paul, absolute pleasure. Thank you. Paul, you're going to be in London for the Community Shield on Saturday.
Can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Likewise.
Another trip to the second home.
Shaun, there we go. And Shaun will be here in Manchester holding down the fort as well.
Proper atmosphere.
And hopefully you'll be joining us every step of the way. Remember City Plus to check out full highlights, all them brilliant documentaries, and of course Together is coming your way as well. Look forward to seeing you Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your week, and for one final time, come on City. See you later, guys. Thanks for watching.
Manchester City are 90 minutes away from winning the Premier League for the first time.
Goal! Breathtaking champion.
93-20, madness.
We're City. We don't do it the easy way.
93-20, forever in our history. And for this season, it's woven into our fabric. Manchester, it's a different city.
Champions.